The white runner beneath my feet feels like a path of thorns. Each step down this cathedral aisle sends tiny daggers through my silk-wrapped toes, but I keep my chin high and my smile fixed, the way Mother taught me. My name is Valeria, and I'm about to destroy my family. The string quartet plays Pachelbel's canon, but all I hear is the thundering of my heart. 200 pairs of eyes follow my measured steps. Society's finest, gathered to witness what they think is the society wedding of the year. Mother made sure of that. Every invitation personally curated, every detail orchestrated for maximum impact. "Stand straight, dear," she had whispered this morning, pinning the antique veil to my hair with fingers like ice. "Today, you make us proud." If she only knew. I catch a glimpse of my sister Lana in the front row, resplendent in champagne silk. Her smile doesn't reach her eyes. It never does. 3 nights ago, she cornered me in the conservatory, her manicured nails digging into my arm. "Don't you dare mess this up," she had hissed. "Everything we've worked for depends on you playing your part." I remember nodding, docile as always. Poor, quiet Valeria, the family doormat, the one who never fights back. The altar looms closer. Milton stands there in his tailored tuxedo, watching me with those unreadable gray eyes. Most people think he's cold, distant. They don't know what I know. They haven't seen him hunched over financial records at 3 a.m., connecting the dots that would lead to this moment. "You look beautiful," Mother calls from her front row seat, loud enough for everyone to hear. Always performing, always crafting the perfect image. I flash back to last week's dress fitting. "You've gained weight," she had snapped, pinching my waist. "No dinner tonight. We can't let out this dress again." The memory makes my spine stiffen. 23 years of similar moments cascade through my mind. Missed meals, canceled plans, monitored phone calls, all to shape me into their perfect puppet. "Almost there, sweetheart," Father whispers beside me. He's been a ghost in his own home for years, drowning his guilt in scotch while Mother and Lana spun their web of lies. I almost pity him. The priest smiles benevolently as we approach. Behind him, an enormous stained glass window throws rainbow patterns across the altar. So much beauty, so much ceremony, all to mask the ugly truth. I spot Caden in the 3rd row, his laptop bag by his feet. Inside it sits a backup of everything we need, just in case. Milton extends his hand to help me up the steps. His touch is steady, grounding. 2 months ago, we were strangers forced into an arrangement. Now we're conspirators. "Dearly beloved," the priest begins, his voice echoing through the vast space. "We are gathered here today." Mother dabs at her eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. Always the grieving martyr, even now. Even after everything she's done. I think of the documents hidden in my bouquet. The paper trail of fraud, the shell companies, the forged signatures. 2 months of secret investigations, midnight meetings, and careful planning have led to this moment. Lana shifts in her seat, checking her phone. Probably making sure the offshore accounts are ready. She always was the detail-oriented one. That's why she never suspected I'd learned from watching her all these years. The priest drones on about love and commitment. If he only knew the real commitment being made today, my commitment to truth, to justice, to finally standing up. Mother catches my eye and gives an approving nod. She thinks she's won. Thinks her youngest daughter has finally submitted to the family's grand design, the perfect society wedding, followed by access to the Francis fortune, culminating in the biggest con they've ever pulled. But this time, I'm not walking blindly. This time, the puppet has scissors. My bouquet feels heavy with its hidden contents. In less than 10 minutes, everything will change. 23 years of careful manipulation will crumble in front of Vancouver's elite. Mother's mask will crack. Lana's schemes will unravel. The priest turns to Milton. "Do you take this woman?" I draw a deep breath. The air tastes like roses and revenge. This isn't the story of a blushing bride or a family's triumph. This is the story of a girl who learned to pick the lock of her pretty cage, who discovered that the key to freedom was hidden in plain sight, in spreadsheets and bank statements, in whispered phone calls and deleted emails. Mother always said I was too quiet, too obedient. She never realized she was teaching me her greatest lesson: patience. The moment of truth approaches. I have something in my hands they don't know about, and it's going to change everything. 2 months earlier, I sat in our mansion's fading library, pretending to read while Mother paced the Persian carpet. The evening light caught the worry lines around her mouth, lines no amount of Botox could hide anymore. "The Francis family has agreed," she announced, stopping directly in front of me. "Milton will marry you this summer." I dropped my book. "What?" "Don't gape, darling. It's unbecoming." Mother perched on the antique settee, smoothing her Chanel skirt. "This is wonderful news. The wedding will save us all." "Save us from what?" My voice cracked. "And why wasn't I told about any of this?" Lana materialized in the doorway, her heels clicking against the hardwood. "Because you'd only mess it up if you knew too soon. You always were terrible at keeping secrets." "That's not fair." "Life isn't fair," Mother cut in. "Do you think I enjoyed watching our assets dwindle, our name losing its shine, the country club whispers?" I stood up, my hands shaking. "I'm not marrying a stranger to fix your social standing." Lana laughed, that sharp, cruel sound I'd grown to hate. "Oh, sister, you think this is about social standing?" Mother shot her a warning look. "Lana, enough." "We're facing bankruptcy," Lana continued, ignoring Mother. "The estate, the investments, everything. It's all hanging by a thread. But the Francis family can save us. Their connections, their resources, their money," I whispered. "Don't be crude," Mother snapped. "This is about legacy, about family duty. Your father's poor decisions have left us vulnerable." I thought of Dad, probably hiding in his study with a bottle. He hadn't been the same since the market crash of '08, since Mother took control of everything. "I want to meet him first," I said. "Milton." "Already arranged." Mother pulled out her phone. "Dinner tomorrow night. Wear the blue Valentino. It makes you look less pale." "And if I refuse?" Lana's hand clamped down on my shoulder. "Then Dad goes to prison for fraud. Is that what you want? To see your father in handcuffs?" My blood ran cold. "What are you talking about? Those investment papers he signed?" Mother's voice was silk over steel. "Not all of them were strictly legal. The authorities would be very interested." "You're blackmailing me? With Dad?" "We're protecting you," Lana corrected. "Protecting all of us. The Francis family can make everything disappear. Their political connections alone." I sank back into my chair, nausea rising. "How long have you been planning this?" "Long enough," Mother said. "Milton is a good match. Quiet, like you. Focused on his work. He won't interfere." "With what?" Another warning look between them. "With your happiness, of course," Mother smiled. "Now, about the engagement party. I'm thinking the Plaza Hotel." They launched into wedding details. My presence forgotten. I sat there, numb, watching them plot out my future like moves on a chessboard. The next evening, I met Milton at La Croix. He was tall, well-dressed, with sharp features and calculating eyes. We sat in uncomfortable silence while our mothers chatted about flower arrangements. "Do you golf?" he finally asked. "No." "Good. Neither do I." Something in his tone made me look up. The corner of his mouth twitched, almost a smile. Later, as the waiters cleared our plates, I heard Lana whisper to Mother, "Everything's proceeding as planned. We'll finish the job after the wedding." My fork clattered against china. Milton's eyes met mine across the table, and for a moment, I saw something familiar in them. The same trapped look I saw in my mirror every morning. That night, I couldn't sleep. I pulled up Milton's social media searching for something. His profiles were sparse, controlled, but one photo caught my eye. Him at a charity gala, standing slightly apart from the crowd, looking like he wanted to be anywhere else. My phone buzzed with a text from Lana. Remember, not a word about Dad's situation. To anyone, ever. I walked to my window, staring at the moonlit gardens below. The estate that had once been our pride was showing signs of decay. Weeds pushing through cracked fountains, paint peeling from shutters. All that careful maintenance of appearances, while everything rotted from within. Another text, this time from Mother. Wedding planner tomorrow, 10 a.m. Don't be late. I turned off my phone and pressed my forehead against the cool glass. They thought they had me cornered, the perfect pawn in their perfect plan. But even pawns can change the game. Your mother's company doesn't exist, Milton said quietly, sliding a folder across his office desk. At least, not legally. 3 weeks had passed since our engagement announcement. We were alone in his downtown high-rise office, 40 stories above the city. The sun was setting, painting the room in shades of orange and shadow. I opened the folder with trembling fingers. Inside were registration documents, tax records, incorporation papers, all showing different companies with slightly altered versions of my mother's business name. Shell companies, he explained, dozens of them, each one existing just long enough to move money before dissolving. How did you find this? I had suspicions when your mother's background check came back. Too clean. He loosened his tie. No one's record is that perfect, so I dug deeper. A knock at the door made us both jump. Milton's secretary poked her head in. Your mother's online too, Mr. Francis. Tell her I'm in a meeting. His voice was steel. After the door closed, he turned back to me. Your sister's involved too, isn't she? I nodded, my throat tight. Lana handles the paperwork. She has a way of making things disappear. Like your father's real investment records? You know about those? Milton's laugh was bitter. My family didn't get where we are by being naive. The question is, what are we going to do about it? We? He leaned forward, eyes intense. I refused an arranged marriage once before. Nearly cost me everything. I won't be anyone's pawn again. My heart raced. I need help, I whispered. Someone who understands financial fraud. I know someone. Milton pulled out his phone. Caden Holmes, former auditor turned private investigator. He's discreet, thorough, and owes me a favor. 2 days later, I met Caden in a quiet coffee shop across town. He was younger than I expected, with kind eyes and a laptop covered in stickers. These transactions, he said, pointing to his screen, they're sophisticated, professional. Your mother and sister have been doing this for years. Can you prove it? With time. He took a sip of coffee. But we need to be careful. People who commit fraud at this level, they don't react well to exposure. I'm not afraid of them anymore. Caden's eyes softened. Maybe you should be. Just a little. That evening, Mother cornered me in the kitchen. Where were you today? Wedding errands, I lied smoothly. The florist had questions about centerpieces. Funny, she mused, examining her manicure, because I called the florist. They said you canceled your appointment. My pulse quickened. I meant the backup florist, in case the first one falls through. Always so practical, she smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Just like your sister. Speaking of Lana, she mentioned seeing you downtown, near the financial district. I was looking at jewelry stores. Of course you were. Mother touched my cheek. Her fingers were cold. Remember, darling, this wedding isn't just about you. It's about all of us. Our future. After she left, I texted Milton. They're watching me. His reply came instantly. Time to accelerate the plan. Meet me tomorrow. Bring everything you have. That night, I couldn't sleep. I crept down to Dad's study, where he sat staring at old photographs. Did you know, I asked, about what they were doing? He looked up, eyes cloudy with bourbon. I knew enough to drink myself stupid. He picked up a photo, Mom and Lana at some charity gala. They were always smarter than me, always one step ahead. Help me stop them. I can't. His hands shook. They'll bury me. They already have. The next morning, Caden called with news. I found something big, a series of emails between your mother and offshore accounts. They're planning to use the wedding donations as a front for money laundering. My stomach lurched. How much? Millions. And that's just the beginning. Once they have access to the Francis family's political connections, send everything to Milton, I interrupted. Every document, every email. We need backups. Already done. But Valeria, he paused. Be careful. I think someone's been following me. I ended the call and stared out my bedroom window. A black car I didn't recognize was parked across the street. My phone buzzed. A text from Lana. Family dinner tonight. Don't be late. We need to discuss the wedding guest list. Another text from Milton. Got Caden's files. It's worse than we thought, but we have them now. I touched the window glass, watching my reflection overlap with the distant city skyline. In just a few weeks, I'd gone from victim to vigilante, from pawn to player. The black car across the street started its engine. Let them watch. Let them wonder. The game was changing, and they didn't even know they were already losing. Where do you think you're going? Lana's voice cut through the foyer like a knife. She stood at the top of the stairs, one hand on the banister, watching me reach for the front door. Dress fitting, I said, gripping my car keys tighter. No, you're not. She descended the stairs slowly, each click of her heels deliberate. Because I just called the boutique. They said you rescheduled for next week. My mouth went dry. I have other appointments. Cancel them. She reached the bottom step. Mother wants you home today. We need to discuss the engagement party guest list. I can't just sit. She pointed to the living room. Now. I followed her, my legs wooden. The living room felt smaller than usual, stuffed with wedding catalogs and sample centerpieces. Mother sat in her favorite armchair, polishing the family veil. Darling, she smiled, holding up the ancient lace. I've been thinking about tradition. The veil was yellowed with age, heavy with tiny pearls and old promises. Every Matthews bride had worn it. Every one of them had suffered. This veil, Mother continued, represents our family's strength, our resilience. She stood, draping it over my head. Our ability to do whatever it takes. The lace felt like cobwebs against my skin. Through it, I saw Lana checking her phone, frowning. Speaking of tradition, Lana said, we need to discuss your social media presence. It's been concerning. What do you mean? These mysterious appointments, the deleted browser history, the calls to numbers we don't recognize. She stepped closer. Someone might think you're up to something. Mother adjusted the veil, her fingers lingering near my throat. We can't have any surprises, can we? The Francis family is very particular about appearances. I'm not. Shh. Mother's grip tightened on my shoulder. The engagement party is in 2 days. Everything must be perfect. No distractions. A knock at the door made us all turn. Through the lace, I saw a familiar figure in the doorway. Wendy, my childhood friend. I hadn't seen her in years, not since Mother had deemed her unsuitable company. Sorry to interrupt, Wendy said, her voice steady. I heard about the engagement and wanted to drop off a gift. How thoughtful. Mother's tone could freeze hell. But we're in the middle of something. Of course. Wendy placed a small package on the side table. Her eyes met mine through the veil. Congratulations, Val. The gift's nothing special, just a USB drive with some old photos I thought you'd like. My heart skipped. Wendy had always been clever. I'll show you out. Lana said quickly, steering Wendy toward the door. Later that night, after Mother finally released me, I locked myself in my bathroom and plugged in the drive. It contained exactly what we needed, a program to back up files remotely, hidden behind a slideshow of childhood photos. My phone buzzed. Milton. Engagement party tomorrow. My mother's suspicious. Be ready. Another buzz. Kaiden. Found something in the donation records. It's big. Don't trust anyone. I heard footsteps in the hallway. Lana's distinctive heel clicks. Quickly, I flushed the toilet and ran the sink, hiding the USB drive in my makeup bag. The next morning, I found my phone had been tampered with. All my contacts were gone, except for family and the wedding planner. But they didn't know about my second phone, hidden in a hollow book in the library. The engagement party loomed like a storm cloud. Mother paraded me through final preparations like a show pony. "Stand straighter," she hissed during the final venue walkthrough. "And remember, the Francis family asks questions. Give them only the answers we practiced." "Yes, Mother." "And darling?" She cupped my face, nails digging into my cheeks. "If you embarrass us, if you ruin this, well, your father's fraud charges would be just the beginning." That evening, as I got ready for the party, I found a note slipped under my door. In Wendy's handwriting, "The walls have ears, but so do I. Signal if you need help." I touched the family veil, laid out on my bed like a burial shroud. Through my window, I could see cars already arriving for the party. Sleek, expensive vehicles carrying Vancouver's elite. My phone buzzed one last time. An unknown number. Found the memo. SM plans to use wedding donation accounts for laundering. Proof attached. K. I deleted the message just as Lana barged in. "Time to go," she announced, eyes scanning my room suspiciously. "And Val, remember who you are, what you owe this family." I looked in the mirror, adjusting the veil. Through its web of lace, my reflection seemed to smile. A sharp, dangerous thing. "I remember exactly who I am," I whispered, too softly for her to hear. "And what you all owe me." "The wedding has to be the trigger point," Milton said, pacing his penthouse balcony. The city lights twinkled below us like fallen stars. Any earlier, and they'll have time to cover their tracks. Kaiden sat at the glass dining table, surrounded by laptops and documents. The timing has to be perfect. Once we expose them, they'll try to destroy everything. "They already are," I said, showing them my tampered phone. "Lana's getting desperate. She's watching every move I make. Then we need to be smarter." Milton pulled out a burner phone. "Use this. I've hired a private investigator to monitor your house. If anything happens—" "Nothing will happen," Kaiden interrupted, "because we're going to beat them at their own game." He pulled up a complex spreadsheet. "Your mother's planning to use the wedding donations as a front. Rich guests, big checks, all going into accounts she controls. Classic laundering scheme." "But we'll be ready," Milton added. "My mother's already suspicious. She's been asking questions about your family's finances." I remembered Adeline Francis's sharp eyes at the engagement party, the way she watched Mother's every move. "What about the evidence?" I asked. Kaiden gestured to his screens. "Triple backed up. Cloud servers, physical drives, even paper copies in a safety deposit box. They can't erase this." "But they can erase me," I whispered. Milton stopped pacing. "What do you mean?" "Last night, I found these in Mother's study." I pulled out a stack of papers. "They're transfer documents. Once we're married, everything goes into accounts I can't access. They're planning to cut me out completely. After using you as their puppet." Milton's voice was cold. "Just like they tried to do to me." "What happened?" I asked. "With your almost marriage?" He leaned against the balcony railing. 2 years ago, another perfect match arranged by my parents. But I discovered she was working with corporate spies. They wanted our company's trading algorithms. What did you do? I exposed everything. Lost friends, trust, social standing, but I kept my integrity. He turned to me. That's why I'm helping you. I know what it's like to be used by the people who should protect you. Caden's laptop pinged. Got something. Your sister's been making late-night visits to a storage facility downtown. The records, I realized. She's hiding physical copies. Not for long. Milton pulled out his phone. My PI will handle it. A knock at the door made us freeze. Milton checked the security camera and relaxed. It's Wendy. She entered carrying shopping bags. Perfect cover if anyone was watching. Your mother's on the move, she said. She's meeting with bank executives tomorrow. Something about post-wedding arrangements. We need to move faster, Caden said. The wedding's in 3 weeks. If they suspect anything, they won't. I stood up, determination replacing fear. Because I'm going to give them exactly what they want. What do you mean? Milton asked. The perfect, obedient daughter. I'll play my part so well they'll never see it coming. Wendy touched my arm. Be careful. Your sister's dangerous when she's cornered. I know. I remembered the look in Lana's eyes when she threatened me. But so am I. We spent the next hour finalizing details. Caden would compile the evidence. Milton would handle the timing and security. Wendy would be our eyes and ears in social circles. One more thing, Milton said as we prepared to leave. My mother wants to have lunch tomorrow. Just you and her. My stomach tightened. Why? She has questions. Answer them carefully. She could be a powerful ally. Or enemy. Back home, I found Lana waiting in my room. Where were you? She demanded. Final dress fitting, I said smoothly. You can call the boutique this time. She studied my face. You're different lately. Calmer. I've accepted my role, I lied. This wedding will save our family, right? Her smile was razor sharp. Right. Just remember, no one likes a bride who asks too many questions. After she left, I checked my new burner phone. Messages from everyone. Milton. PI found documents at storage. Getting copies tonight. Caden. Money trail confirmed. Ready when you are. Wendy. Watch your back. Lana's been asking about your schedule. I stood at my window, watching the black car that had become a permanent fixture across the street. Mother's surveillance, no doubt. Let them watch. Let them think they've won. In 3 weeks, I would walk down that aisle carrying more than just a bouquet. I would carry their destruction, wrapped in white lace and sealed with their own signatures. The game was entering its final phase, and I had learned from the best how to play dirty. The rehearsal dinner sparkled with false promises. Crystal glasses clinked, silver gleamed, and Mother held court at the head table like a queen about to win her war. To my beautiful daughter, she raised her champagne, voice dripping honey, who has always known the importance of family loyalty. The crowd of Vancouver's elite murmured appreciatively. I caught Milton's eye across the table. His slight nod told me everything. Our final pieces were in place. Lana slid into the empty seat beside me, her garnet dress the color of old blood. Having fun, sister dear? Of course, I smiled, channeling her own brand of sweetness. Everything's perfect. Almost perfect. She leaned closer, whispering, Shame about Kaiden's assistant going missing. Kate? Wasn't that her name? My hand tightened around my fork. I wouldn't know. No? Lana's smile widened. Funny because her phone records show quite a few calls to a certain burner phone. Before I could respond, Adeline Francis appeared behind us. Lana, dear, tell me more about these investment opportunities you mentioned earlier. Lana switched masks seamlessly. Of course, Mrs. Francis. Shall we discuss it somewhere private? They moved away, leaving me with my heart pounding. I excused myself to the bathroom, hands shaking as I texted Milton. They know about Kate. His response was immediate. She's safe. Part of the plan. Keep calm. The bathroom door opened. Mother entered, her silk dress rustling like snakeskin. Darling, she adjusted her pearls in the mirror. You've done so well these past weeks. I almost believed you'd finally learned your place. What do you mean? She turned, eyes hard. Did you really think we wouldn't find your little backup drives? Your secret meetings? I raised you, Valeria. I know when you're plotting. Mother, no matter, she waved dismissively. By this time tomorrow, everything will be secured. The Francis fortune, the political connections, all of it. And you? She touched my cheek. You'll be exactly where we put you. Like Dad? I challenged. Your father was weak. You're not. That's why we chose you for this role. She headed for the door, then paused. Oh, and dear, if you're thinking of using those files you've collected, don't. They've been taken care of. My blood ran cold. I rushed back to the dining room, searching for Caden. He was gone. Milton appeared at my elbow. Breathe, he whispered. Everything's proceeding exactly as we planned. But Kate is with Caden at a secure location, along with all our evidence. Your mother only found the decoys. Across the room, Lana was showing Adeline something on her tablet. Investment projections, probably all fake, all part of their elaborate scheme. Toast time, Mother clinked her glass. The room fell silent. Tomorrow, our families unite in more than just marriage. We unite in purpose, in vision, in... She paused dramatically. Destiny. I watched her perform, seeing every calculated gesture, every practiced emotion. She taught me well, too well, because now I could see right through her. My phone buzzed. Wendy. Package delivered. All systems go. Another buzz. Caden. Evidence secured. Final copies in place. The night wore on. Guests departed in waves of expensive perfume and air kisses. Mother and Lana stayed late, finalizing details with the wedding planner. Remember, Lana caught my arm as I headed upstairs. Noon tomorrow. Don't be late. Don't be clever. Just be the bride we need you to be. In my room, I found my wedding dress laid out like a pristine trap. The family veil beside it, heavy with generations of silence. My burner phone lit up one last time. Milton. My mother knows. She's with us. Tomorrow, we end this. I walked to my window. The black surveillance car was still there, watching. In 12 hours, I would put on that dress. I would wear that veil. I would walk down that aisle. But Mother was wrong about one thing. She hadn't raised me to be obedient. She'd raised me to be like her, calculating, patient, and absolutely merciless when crossed. I touched the hidden pocket I'd sewn into my bouquet, where the final piece of evidence waited. The email that would destroy everything. Mother's own words, confessing to the entire scheme. My regular phone chimed. Mother, sleep well, darling. Tomorrow you make us proud. I smiled at the city lights, at the watching car, at the veil that would be my last act of submission. Yes, Mother, I whispered to the empty room. Tomorrow I'll make you proud, just not in the way you think. The cathedral bells chimed noon as I reached the altar. Milton stands waiting, his expression perfectly neutral. Behind him, I see Caden slip into a back pew, laptop ready. Wendy's already in position near the side exit. Everything's ready. Dearly beloved, the priest begins. Mother beams from the front row, dabbing at dry eyes with her monogrammed handkerchief. Lana sits beside her, scrolling through her phone, probably checking those offshore accounts one last time. We are gathered here today. I think of Kate, safe in a hotel across town, with copies of every document. Of Adeline Francis, who sits ramrod straight, waiting for her cue. Of my father, surprisingly sober today, watching everything with clear eyes for the first time in years. The priest drones on about love and devotion, about sacred bonds and holy unions. If he only knew the real bonds at play here, the ones forged in threats and sealed with blackmail. If anyone has reason why these two should not be joined, Mother's smile tightens. This is the moment she's feared, but not for the reason she thinks. Actually, I say clearly, my voice carrying through the cathedral's perfect acoustics, I have something to say first. A murmur ripples through the crowd. Lana's head snaps up from her phone. Valeria, Mother warns softly, don't. I turn to face the assembled guests, pulling the leather folder from my bouquet. I have a wedding gift for everyone. The truth. Security! Lana stands, but Milton's private security team is faster, blocking the exits. This folder, I hold it up, contains proof of a decade-long fraud scheme. Shell companies, money laundering, blackmail. I lock eyes with the mother, all orchestrated by my own family. The crowd erupts in whispers. Phones start recording. You ungrateful little... Lana lunges forward, but Adeline Francis catches her arm. I wouldn't, Adeline says coldly. The police are already on their way. Mother stands, switching to her society smile. Clearly, my daughter is having a nervous breakdown. Play the audio, I call out. Caden's laptop speakers crackle to life, filling the cathedral with Mother's own voice. Once the wedding's done, we'll have access to everything. The Francis accounts, their political connections. Valeria's just the key to the vault. More recordings follow. Lana discussing offshore accounts. Mother threatening Dad. The entire scheme, laid bare before Vancouver's elite. You've destroyed us all, Mother hisses, her mask finally cracking. No, I remove the veil, that symbol of family obligation, and let it fall. You did that yourself. The heavy doors burst open. Police officers flood in, led by detectives with the warrant papers. Simone and Lana Matthews, one calls out, you're under arrest for fraud, money laundering, and criminal conspiracy. Chaos erupts. Guests stand for a better view, phones recording everything. Mother's perfect society friends back away, already distancing themselves from the scandal. How could you? Lana spits as handcuffs click around her wrists. Your own family. Family? I step closer. You made me a prisoner. A puppet. That's not family, that's abuse. Mother's face contorts with rage as they lead her past me. I gave you everything. No, you took everything. And now, I smile, I'm taking it back. The detectives gather statements. Evidence is collected. Mother and Lana are led out through a sea of flashing phones and shocked faces. Milton touches my arm. You did it. We did it, I correct him. Thank you for believing me. Thank you for saving my family from yours. Dad approaches slowly, looking older and younger at the same time. I should have protected you, he says quietly. You can start now, I tell him, by telling the police everything. Adeline Francis stands at the altar, addressing the stunned crowd. The wedding is obviously canceled. Please accept our apologies for the deception, though not, I think, from the intended perpetrators. Wendy appears at my side with a change of clothes. Ready to get out of that dress? I look down at the white silk and lace. Mother's choice, like everything else in my life until now. More than ready. As I leave the cathedral, I hear the whispers, see the stares. Tomorrow, this will be everywhere. Newspapers, social media, gossip columns, the society wedding that turned into a sting operation. But for now, I walk into the sunshine, free of the veil, the dress, the lies, free of their control. My phone buzzes. Kaiden. Evidence safely delivered to prosecutors. You're trending on Twitter. Another buzz. Milton. Dinner next week? As friends this time. And finally, a text from an unknown number. You did the right thing. Love. Kate. I look back at the cathedral one last time. Mother always said I was too quiet, too obedient, She never realized she was teaching me her greatest lesson. Revenge is a dish best served in public with plenty of witnesses. The Matthews estate feels different in autumn. Dead leaves scatter across the cracked driveway as I pull up to the iron gates. They're rusted now. No one's been maintaining them since the trial. Are you sure about this? Wendy asks from the passenger seat. I need to do it, I say, punching in the old gate code. It still works. The house looms ahead, windows dark and shuttered. After Mother and Lana's conviction, 15 years for fraud, money laundering, and criminal conspiracy, the estate was seized as evidence. Now it's just an empty shell, waiting to be auctioned off. I use my key for the last time. The foyer echoes with our footsteps. Dust covers everything. The crystal chandelier, the marble stairs, the antique furniture Mother was so proud of. Where should we start? Wendy asks. The library. We work methodically, boxing up the few personal items I want to keep. Old photos, Dad's college yearbook, the books that kept me sane during those years of isolation. My phone buzzes. Caden. Just finished another interview. 3 more fraud victims came forward. Since the wedding, more of Mother's schemes have surfaced, more victims speaking out. The investigation keeps growing, spreading like roots through Vancouver's elite society. Look what I found! Wendy holds up the family veil, now gray with dust. What should we do with it? Burn it. We make a small fire in the courtyard, watching the ancient lace curl and blacken. Each pearl that drops into the flames feels like releasing another chain. My phone rings. Milton. The Francis Foundation approved your proposal, he says, without preamble. Full funding for the advocacy program. Really? Really? Adeline specifically wants you to run it. She says your story will help other victims come forward. After the wedding, dozens of letters poured in. Children of wealthy families sharing similar stories of manipulation, fraud, forced marriages. My public statement sparked a movement nobody saw coming. How's your father? Milton asks. Better. The rehab program's working. He's testifying against Mother's old business partners next week. Dad chose cooperation over prison. His testimony helped uncover 3 more fraud rings operating in the city's upper circles. Last week, he smiled for the first time in years. A car pulls up outside. Caden and Kate, right on schedule. Found something interesting in Lana's old office, Caden says, holding up a laptop. Hidden partition. More evidence. Still collecting? I ask. Always. Your mother's network went deep. Each new case helps another victim. Kate starts photographing the house for the auction listing. She's fully recovered from her disappearance. Mother's failed attempt to silence her only made her more determined to expose the truth. Mail came to my office for you, Wendy says, handing me an envelope. Inside is a letter from prison, written in Mother's perfect penmanship. Darling, you think you've won, but everything I did for this family. One day you'll understand. Mother, I drop the letter into the fire with the veil. The flames consume her words, just like they consumed her lies. The reporters are here, Kate calls from inside. I straighten my jacket. Since the wedding, I've given dozens of interviews. Each one helps another family recognize the warning signs of financial abuse and fraud. The reporter sets up in the living room where Mother once held court. Tell me about the advocacy program, she says. It's called Breaking Patterns, I explain. We provide legal support, counseling, and safe houses for victims of family financial abuse. The Francis Foundation's funding will help us expand nationwide. And your mother? Any response to her appeal being denied? My mother taught me everything I know about patience, manipulation, and revenge. I just use those lessons differently than she intended. After the interview, we finish packing. Each box feels lighter than the last. Tomorrow, these will go to my new apartment. The rest will be auctioned, with proceeds going to the Victims' Restitution Fund. Ready? Wendy asks, as we stand in the foyer one last time. I look up at the chandelier, remembering all the parties, the schemes, the quiet threats over perfect table settings. The house feels smaller now, less threatening. Yes, I say, turning to leave. I'm ready. Outside, the autumn wind scatters more leaves across the driveway, nature slowly reclaiming what greed built. I lock the door, then drop the key into the donation box. They say home is where your story begins, but sometimes home is also where you choose to end one story and begin another. Mine begins now,